November 9th, 2014, from Wembley Stadium in London, England. It was the Dallas Cowboys at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars won the toss and they elected in the first, so the Cowboys took over first. They would start off on their own 20, and on first down, DeMarco Murray ran for 23 yards to bring the ball to the Dallas 43. Romo then hit DeMarco Murray for a 17-yard pass to bring the ball across midfield into the Jacksonville 40. They wouldn't pick up another first down, though, and on 4th and 6 from the 36, Dan Bailey came out to attempt a 54-yard field goal. It was up. It was good, and the first points were on the scoreboard as the Cowboys led the Jaguars 3-0. So now Jacksonville took over on their own 20 with about 12 minutes left in the first quarter. They were faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 27, and Bortles hit Robinson for a 3-yard pass. And then on 2nd and 8 from the 32, Bortles hit Shorts for a 24-yard pass to bring the ball across midfield into the Dallas 44. And then on 3rd and 6 from the 40, Bortles hit Robinson for an 8-yard pass, so it would make it a first down on the Dallas 32. And then on first down, Denard Robinson ended up with an end around, a 32-yard touchdown. And so now it was 7-3 as the Jacksonville Jaguars took the lead by scoring this game's first touchdown. So now the Cowboys took over with about 7.5 minutes left in the first, but after 5 plays, they would punt the ball from their 30. But on the punt, it was a muff catch, and the Cowboys recovered. So now the Cowboys had the ball on the Jacksonville 6 to start their drive. Murray ran for 4 yards, and after an incomplete pass on second down, it was 3rd and goal from the 2. Romo then hit Jason Witten as it was Witten, and it was a 2-yard touchdown pass as the Cowboys took back the lead by 3 with the score now 10-7. Jacksonville would go 3 and out, and they punted the ball to Dallas, so Dallas would get the ball on their own 26 with less than a minute left in the first quarter, and Harris was dropped for a 2-yard loss, and so the first quarter came to a close with the score Dallas 10, Jacksonville 7. So to open things up in the second quarter, it was 2nd and 12 from the 24 for the Cowboys on their own 24. Romo hit Dez Bryant for an 11-yard pass to make it a 3rd and 1. Parnell then was reported as eligible, and DeMarco Murray pounded it forward for a 5-yard run that made it a first down. So that was a first down on the 40, but their drive would stall on the 45 as Jones would come out to punt, and so now Jacksonville would take over, but they would go 3 and out, and so now the Cowboys would get the ball back on their own 35 with about 10 minutes left before halftime. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 36, Tony Romo hit Jason Witten for a 15-yard pass that made it a first down in Jacksonville territory, the Jacksonville 49. DeMarco Murray then ran for 12 yards for a first down. Then he picked up another 2 yards, and it was 2nd and 8 from the Jacksonville 35, and Tony Romo hit Dez Bryant for a 35-yard touchdown pass. And it was now 17-7 as the Cowboys extended their lead to 10 points over the Jags. Jacksonville now had the ball with about 7 minutes left before halftime. They picked up a first down, but then they ended up punting it from their own 28. So now the Cowboys took over with less than 6 minutes left before halftime, but they would also punt the ball after 4 plays after having picked up a first down on first down with a 17-yard pass from Dez from Romo. But then from the 46, they punted it, and Jacksonville now had the ball on their own 13 with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter. They picked up a first down, and on first down from the Dallas 35, Denard Robinson got the call, and he ended up getting blown up by Selvi. It was a fumble. Church recovered, and so now Dallas had the ball on their own 32 with about 2.5 minutes left before halftime. They would get into Jacksonville territory, and on 2nd and 10 from the 36, Romo hit Beasley, but he fumbled the ball, and Evans recovered as Thomas forced that fumble. And now Jacksonville took over on their own 23, but they would go 3 and out and punt it back to Dallas. So now Dallas would take over with about a half a minute left before halftime. They had it on their own 32. Instead of taking a knee, they decided to air it out, and Tony Romo hit Dez Bryant for a 68-yard touchdown. So now it was 24-7, Cowboys over the Jags. So Jacksonville would get the ball with about 15 seconds left before halftime. They had it on their own 25, and a 3-yard run would bring the first half to a close. So going into the locker rooms at halftime, the Cowboys were leading by 17 points with the score Dallas 24, Jacksonville 7. So the Jaguars would start things off in the third quarter, and they would bring the ball across midfield and into Dallas territory, but their drive stalled on the Dallas 48, and they would end up punting the ball to the Cowboys. So now the Cowboys took over with about 11 minutes left in the third. They started off on their own 13, and on 3rd and 4 from the 19, Romo hit Escobar for a 14-yard pass that would make it a first down on the 33. Murray then ran for 6 yards, and then Murray ran for 21 yards to make it a first down in Jacksonville territory at the 40. So now on first down from the 40, they handed it off to Randle, and Randle took it 40 yards for the touchdown. Here comes Randle, he's a berserker. And it was now 31-7, Dallas over Jacksonville, as the Cowboys extended their lead to 24 points. Jacksonville now had the ball on their own 7-yard line with about 7.5 minutes left in the third. They would end up bringing it out from the shadow of their own end zone, but they ended up having to punt the ball. Actually, they went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 29, and they ended up turning it over on downs. And so now the Cowboys would take over in field goal range on the Jacksonville 29. They would actually go backwards, and they ended up going for a field goal on 4th and 11 from the 30. It was a 48-yard attempt. It was up, and it was no good. And so the score remained 31-7. So Bailey had made a 54-yarder earlier, and he misses the 48-yarder here late in the game, well, in the third quarter. So now Jacksonville took over with about 4 minutes left in this game. They had the ball on their own 38. They would end up punting it, though, from the 50-yard line as their drive stalled at midfield. So now the Cowboys took over with a little over a minute left in the third. They had it on their own 20. They wouldn't get far. And on the final play of the third quarter on 3rd and 8, they picked up 3 yards on a pass from Romo to Dunbar, and the third quarter came to a close. And after 3 quarters of play, the score was Dallas 31, Jacksonville 7. So to open up the fourth quarter, the Cowboys would punt the ball to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags would take over on their own 43. They would end up getting all the way down into the red zone, and on 4th and 6 from the Dallas 11, they elected to go for it as they were trailing by 3+ touchdowns, as they needed 4 touchdowns to win, and they went for it, and it was an incomplete pass, and they turned the ball over on downs. So now Dallas would take over on their own 11-yard line with about 10 minutes left, and they actually would be forced with a 4th and 16 from their own 5, and they brought out the punting unit, but there was a holding penalty, and that made it a safety. So the holding penalty took them back to the end zone for a safety, and so now they would have to punt it, but the Jacksonville Jaguars had got 2 points, so it was now 31-9. So now Jacksonville would take over after the safety, and they had the ball on their own 39 with about 8 minutes left in this game. They would end up being forced to face a 2nd and 10 from the 24 of the Cowboys after having gotten down into Dallas territory. Bortles dropped back, and he was intercepted by Bruce Carter, and the Cowboys would take back over with less than 7 minutes on the clock, and now they had the ball backed up against their own end zone on their own 5-yard line. And they would end up punting it 6 plays later from the 23. So now Jackson would take back over with about 3.5 minutes left in this game, and they had the ball on their own 46. And they would end up bringing the ball down into the red zone when on 1st and 10 from the 43 of the Cowboys, Bortles hit Robinson for a 31-yard pass that brought it to the 12. And they ended up getting a first down off a defensive holding penalty. And then Bortles threw an interception, but it was a pass interference call, so now it was 1st and goal on the 1 for the Jags. And on 2nd and goal, Denard Robinson ran for the touchdown. They went for 2 points, and it was successful. And so now the score was 31-17. But with only 2 minutes left in the clock, after the onside kick was not recovered, and the Cowboys got it. It was recovered by Dallas. All that was left for Dallas to do was take 3 knees, and this game came to a close with the final score, Dallas 31, Jacksonville 17. And with the victory, the Cowboys are now 7-3 on the season. They're undefeated away from Dallas. And the Jaguars remain with just 1 win as they are now 1-9 on the season. And in this game, Tony Romo was 20 for 27 with 246 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Blake Bortles was 22 for 37 with 290 yards and an interception. The leading rusher in this game was DeMarco Murray with 100 yards off of just 19 carries. Denard Robinson had 60 yards off of 15 carries and 2 touchdowns. The leading receiver in this game was Dez Bryant with 158 yards off of 6 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Cecil Shorts III had 119 yards off of 5 receptions. The leading tackler in this game was Anthony Hitchens. He had 9 tackles. The Cowboys combined for 4 sacks as Mincy, Lawrence, Crawford, and Carr each had a sack for the Cowboys. Only 1 sack for the Jags. That was Marks. And the game's lone interception was by Bruce Carter. And the Cowboys dominate Jacksonville as they went on a little spree there, as they scored 28 unanswered points after being down 7-3. So the Cowboys win over in London, and the final score, Dallas 31, Jacksonville 17.